was a woman lying there all right, and she looked bad. She had olive skin and dark hair, but it was hard to tell anything beyond that because she had been beaten. There was no mistaking the blood on the torn red dress she wore. It looked like whoever had used her as a punching bag had tried to kill her. Khaki quickly looked around, then crouched down and put 2 fingers to the woman's neck, checking for a pulse. It was weak, but it was there. The woman groaned, trying to push Khaki's hand away. "Ma'am, I'm with the Lakefront Police Department. I'm here to help, but you have to hang on." The woman dropped her hand. It was a wonder she was even still alive. Khaki reached up and thumbed the mic attached to her shoulder. "Dispatch, this is 3CO4. I need an ambulance on the North Side Service Road of the Grace Park Apartments."
"Roger, 3CO4. Status of victim?"
The woman was still breathing, but Khaki wasn't sure for how much longer. "Victim is critical."
"Roger, 3CO4. Medical services are on the way," the dispatcher said. "ETA less than 10 minutes. Is the scene secure?"
Khaki was about to give the affirmative on that, knowing the EMTs sure as hell wouldn't come into this neighborhood if she didn't. But before she could, a door slammed, and 3 men came out of an apartment. They were silhouetted by the light coming through the doorway behind them, so Khaki couldn't make out their features, but they were big and half-dressed, and at least 2 of them were carrying weapons that glinted in the faint light.
"That bitch is mine, and I'm not done with her."
At least that's what Khaki thought the man said. His accent was so thick, it was nearly impossible to know for sure. But the menace in his voice was unmistakable, and it wasn't very hard to figure out how the poor woman ended up the way she had. Khaki lifted her Glock as the 2 armed men raised their weapons. Training demanded she shout, "Police! Freeze!" But she didn't bother. These men weren't going to care that she was a cop. A bright flash of light lit up the night, followed by a loud boom as one of the men fired a shotgun in her direction. Pellets hit her right shoulder and chest like white-hot bee stings. Her vest stopped the ones that would have pierced her heart, but her shoulder wasn't protected, and she winced at the pain as she fired multiple rounds at the men. She dropped 1 man where he stood and sent the other 2 running back into the apartment. That didn't stop them from shooting at her, and Khaki leaped to cover the nearly unconscious woman as bullets dotted both the ground in front and the metal dumpster behind them. Khaki thumbed her mic with 1 hand as she returned fire with the other. "Dispatch, this is 3CO4. Officer needs assistance. Shots fired. Repeat, officer needs assistance. Shots fired. Need immediate backup." Dispatch might have replied, but Khaki didn't hear it. The gunfire was getting closer, and she knew that sooner or later it was going to hit her or the injured woman. "I have to move you," she told the woman. "It's going to hurt, but I don't have a choice." The woman's eyes fluttered open, then closed again. Khaki hoped that meant she understood. Not that it mattered. Khaki had to get them out of there. Holding her Glock with 1 hand, Khaki shoved her other arm under the woman's shoulders and dragged her across the pavement. The woman cried out in pain, but Khaki ignored it. She just kept moving and firing random shots at the apartment, praying the 2 shooters would stay there until she reached her cruiser. Khaki made it to her cruiser just as her magazine ran out. She didn't bother reloading. Instead, she holstered her gun so she could slip her other hand under the woman, then heaved her into the front seat. It was a tight fit with a steering wheel, radio rack, and computer console, but Khaki didn't have time to be gentle. She maneuvered the woman until she got her in the passenger seat, then climbed in herself. She was just putting the car in gear when gunfire erupted from beside the dumpster. The side and front windows of the cruiser shattered as a hail of bullets smashed into the glass. The car rocked as both tires on the driver's side blew out and the engine died.